What? There's no shot. Pitch from Jordan Wright on the knuckleball.
All right, we need to be covering wiffle ball more. That pitch was insane.
This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Berto. Now that the draft and the start of free agency has settled a little bit, it's the perfect time to give out some grades to the Canadian teams in the NHL. Let's start with the Habs. They have not signed many players, but thanks to some great work in the draft, we think this offseason gets an A. Specifically in the first round with Ivan Demidov and Michael Hage. The biggest move, though, was locking up 2022 first overall pick Juraj Slafkovsky to an 8-year extension. Now, it's easy to look at that and compare it to the team-friendly contract Nathan MacKinnon signed just 3 years into his career, which turned out to be one of the biggest steals in NHL history. Moving on to the Jets, and they've been quiet to say the least. They watched Sean Monahan, Tyler Toffoli, Brendan Dillon, and Laurent Brossoit walk and find new homes, while also buying out Nate Schmidt, adding Rutger McGrody's uncertainty, and you've got a D-letter grade. And of course, Jesse will be here later in the show to talk more about the Jets' polarizing offseason. Next up, the Oilers, who are one win away from winning the Cup, are bringing back an even better roster for another crack at it. Edmonton managed to re-sign some key depth pieces, while also adding Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson. Skinner's coming off 2 of his most productive seasons of his career, scoring 92 goals in the last 3 seasons. Plus, he played for the Sabres, so that definitely means he's winning the Cup next year. While Arvidsson, when healthy, has hit the 20-goal mark in 2 of his last 3 seasons. As an A- for Edmonton as they look poised for another deep Cup run. Speaking of deep Cup runs, the Canucks are looking to go on one. Their trade acquisitions from last season, Elias Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov, both left for Boston, but they were able to steal Jake DeBrusk from the Bruins in return. DeBrusk has just one 50-point season to his name, but he's only 27 and has hit the 40-point mark in 3 straight years. The Canucks were not done there though, as they re-signed a pair of their own key free agents. And with some other key depth adds, let's give a B+ to Van City. Be sure to tune in tomorrow where we give more grades to Toronto, Calgary, and Ottawa. I'm sure you can already assume where we're going with Toronto. To the association, and we got some huge news this morning, as LeBron James has agreed to a 2-year, $104 million max deal with the Lakers. The second year of the deal is a player option, so LeBron is essentially going year to year with LA. The deal also has a no-trade clause. Woj also added that there's a possibility of LeBron taking $1 million or so below the max to get the Lakers below the second apron. Because as things currently stand, if he does take the max, the Lakers team salary would be at $190 million. Which is slightly above the second apron. And that second apron should be looked at as a hard salary cap, as teams above it are severely limited in their ability of making roster moves. Looking at their starting 5, this is definitely not a title team, as last year they barely made the play-in. And that was in a season where LeBron and Brow only missed 17 combined games. And looking at the bench, they don't offer much help either. In terms of other flexibility, the Lakers can trade their 2029 and 2031 first-round picks, but after that, there's not much left. Now joined by Big Jibs himself, great to see you, bud.
Pipe it.
It's been a couple of days since free agent frenzy and most of the dust has settled, and it doesn't seem like you're too happy with the Jets.
I wouldn't say I'm necessarily disappointed with the Jets, but I think fans collectively feel a little underwhelmed. I mean, how could you not? The Jets lost players and didn't really gain players. However, the silver lining in all this is that all these young players from the Moose, maybe some players who are playing junior, are going to come up and occupy some of those empty spots. There's a turn in the chapter right now going on with the Jets, and it's time to get these young guys in and try to develop this core into a championship core and complement the veterans that we already have on the roster.
But does the timeline of those young players match with the core veterans?
I mean, Scheifele just signed for 8 years, I think. Hellebuck just signed for 8 years. It's going to be a bit of a process. Those players are probably in more of a win-now mode, but if the young players can get good quickly in the next few years, I think the Jets can be a pretty dangerous team.
So, do you want to talk about the fact that you have toothpaste on your shirt, or?
Wow. Who doesn't get a little toothpaste on themselves in the morning, you know? It's like you're in a rush. It's like drooling out of your mouth. It's like...
Jesse Pollock, a pleasure as always.
Anytime.
Time now for my favorite segment and yours, that we love sports today.
Why we love sports today.
And let's start with the most wholesome baseball player we've ever seen. That kid was so smooth, it didn't even seem like he hit a baseball. Okay, it looked like he was miming everything. Okay, let's keep a little kids in baseball theme going, but we're gonna lose the wholesomeness.
Baseball trick shots. Wait.
Okay, so this is just a great example of why you should just be wearing a helmet every time. Just wear a helmet if you got a bat in your hand. Ugh. Now joined by our racing guy Tim Hauraney, who is in London. Tim, how are things going across the pond?
Pip pip cheerio, Marissa Thay. I'm at the track. I'm at Silverstone right now. Just pan over here. It's raining, like a lot. So maybe after this I'll have some tea and scrumpets. Crumpets? Scrumpets? I think it's scrumpets.
I've never tried a scrumpet before. They sound flaky. Okay, Tim, you know we love our F1 drama, and there is some serious drama right now between Max and Lando. Things appear to be heating up after what happened at the Austrian Grand Prix, with Christian Horner even saying Max is not going to change. So break this one down for us.
Oh yeah, there's no way Verstappen's ever gonna change. I mean, the guy's absolutely ruthless out on the racetrack, and that's what you need to be if you want to be 3-time Formula One world champion, potential 4-time Formula One world champion. We've seen it with some of the greats in the past when it comes to, very get your elbows out, aggressive, borderline, over the line aggression racing. Schumacher rings to mind. Sometimes Ayrton Senna would overstep the boundaries. I just think for the two of them, the main thing is that if they want to try and keep this off-track friendship going, they got to sit down and talk about how they want to race each other and what they're willing to accept and what they're not willing to accept.
Okay, Tim, who was in the wrong on this one, Max or Lando?
Oh, it's definitely Max. Moving in the braking zone, forget about it. I just think that with this race here being Lando Norris's home race, and if the two of them can't come to some sort of an agreement on rules of engagement, how to battle each other out on the racetrack, then there's no way this friendship off track is salvageable. And all I have to say is get your popcorn ready, because this thing could turn real spicy real fast.
Tim Hauraney, a pleasure as always.
Marissa, sorry to hear about Italy at the Euros. They'll do better next time. Anyways, bye.
Interesting. That was completely uncalled for. How's your team doing? And you can watch the British Grand Prix this Sunday on TSN. Coverage begins at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. That's it for me today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. See you then.